Okay, everybody. Like I said, I want to do some more video content on this channel. I'm kind of working on what that's going to look like as far as what the topics will be and what my lighting setup and situation is going to be like. I didn't get in trouble from my wife on stealing her table, so I got a really nice setup in that regard, I think. But as sports guys, sports journalists, if you will, one of the things we like to try to do is ask and answer questions that are kind of unknowable. But I had the opportunity to watch Dylan Edwards play in person. I've seen him on highlights a bunch, and in our Kansas Football Coaches Association Top 11 story that Keegan wrote, I mentioned that he truly is one of the best players that I've ever seen play in Kansas high school history. My database, my personal memory of it spans, about 40 years now of seeing different high school football players play. I was very engaged in high school football at a very young age, and I can remember some of the very best players that I saw play from an early age. And I think that Dylan Edwards is one of those players that should be mentioned in a kind of a tier that maybe is above the rest. Dylan Edwards, Darren Sproles, Jake Sharp, Barry Sanders. Even though he didn't start at running back until his senior year, he was a corner early in high school. Obviously, a great player. More recently, Breece Hall. Had an opportunity to see him play in person. Outstanding running back. Just smooth, but yet very physical. But we're going to watch some of these highlights of Dylan Edwards real quick and kind of just talk about him a little bit. And then we're going to try to put some follow-up videos together. I'm sure there's some guys I'm forgetting about. Brian Shea was an outstanding running back. Mark Seminole, a lot of people think of him as a linebacker after his NFL career. But in high school, he was an outstanding running back. I'm pretty sure he was a 2,400-yard rusher his senior season, and rushed for nearly 2,000 as a junior, I believe, as well. And we're talking about high school. I mean, certainly Barry Sanders is probably the best NFL player ever to come out of the state of Kansas. Certainly the best NFL running back to date to come out of the state of Kansas, I would think. But we're talking about high school, and I'm trying to get a feel for who everybody thinks the best player in Kansas high school history was. Jake Sharp, outstanding running back, rushed for 63 touchdowns in a season. D'Angelo Evans at Wichita Collegiate. So I've started tracking down some film for some of these guys, and like I said, my setup is not necessarily going to be the highest end, but we're gonna see how this works and try to do a little bit of kind of checking out some film and seeing what we think of these guys. So here's a video that an outlet, Top Sports Debate, did after Edwards committed to Colorado. And he's got, whoever this is, they've cobbled together some highlights from different outlets. And obviously this is a touchdown run against Bishop Carroll that's pretty impressive. Looks like this is maybe Washburn Rule is the opponent here. As he's got to be one of the fastest players to ever play in the state of Kansas. This is at that was an elite event that he ended up being. I think it increased him from 3 stars to 4 stars after the event because he showed such great speed. He was like the fastest guy there, and his lateral quickness is just almost unparalleled. But and hands out of the backfield. I mean, I think the guy accounted for nearly 9,000 yards from scrimmage, and that doesn't even consider how outstanding of a kick returner he was, and a clutch player, a guy that when the chips were down for Derby, especially this past year, he somehow would find a way to make a big play and hit a home run, break off a 90-yard touchdown run or a kick return. Just a really, really special high school football player for Kansas, and is probably going to make an immediate impact at the University of Colorado as Coach Prime tries to get things flipped around there against Junction City. What a spin move that was. That kind of in and out that dip. He can put guys on skates, and he's not super big. You know, he's 5'10", I think, and 175 pounds. He's going to put on more weight in college. Obviously, a college training table is going to benefit him incredibly, because you know, to make it, if he has the trajectory to be an All-American type college player and an NFL player in the future, he's going to have to put on weight. He's going to have more muscle on that frame so that he can add to his durability. But there's no doubt that he is one of the all-time great running backs in Kansas high school history. So I want to do more stuff just like this, and I kind of want to get the conversation going about who the best running back in Kansas high school history is. Some of those guys, you know, are there guys outside of who I mentioned? John Riggins. Obviously, it's hard for me to go a long ways back. There's not going to be a lot of highlight footage out there for high school players from the 60s and 70s, but John Riggins is one of the great players in Kansas high school history. Won a couple of 100-yard dashes in his time at Centralia. Was also a great long jumper, and by all accounts was a good student. Was part of the band and the choir, as I understand it, too. And then went on to KU and went on to the New York Jets and the Washington Redskins, and one of the all-time great players in Kansas history. But in the comments, let me know who you think the best running back in Kansas high school history is. And we're going to come back and look at Barry Sanders and Jake Sharp and Darren Sproles. There's some great highlights of Darren Sproles when he was a kid. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this video before, but we're going to get that out there. So make sure like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments who you think the best running back in Kansas high school history is, and let's get this conversation going. And as always, head out to kansaspregame.com and look for more content. Thanks. I look forward to talking to you soon.